Aslam's world didn't just revolve around his son, Ali. Every breath, every dream, and every drop of sweat from his hard work bore Ali's reflection. Aslam was a rickshaw driver whose life's journey was spent daily in the narrow lanes and ruthless traffic of the city. The intense heat, the scorching waves of warmth, and the harsh words of passengers would wear down his body. But when he returned to his mud house in the evening, the smiling eyes of Ali would wash away all his fatigue. Their home was a small hut built on the bank of a river where life would come to a halt during the rainy season, yet the harvest of Aslam and Ali's hopes always flourished. Ali had big dreams in his eyes. He was ready to face any difficulty to fulfill those dreams. He would study for hours at night under the dim light of the lantern Aslam had for him. He often used to ask his father, "Baba, do all the people in this city live in such big houses?" Aslam would proudly reply, "No, son, only those who change their destiny with hard work." These words were etched into Ali's innocent mind, and it was with this hard work that he always secured the first position in his class. His teacher would say that Ali's mind was a diamond that, if polished, would surely shine. One chilly evening, as Ali was playing in the alley, he found an old ball. He brought it home, his eyes sparkling with delight. But that night, he suddenly shivered, and a high fever took hold of him. Aslam spent the entire night placing cold compresses on his forehead, but the fever showed no sign of subsiding. The next morning, when he took him to a local clinic, the doctor said it was not an ordinary fever, and that he must take him to a bigger hospital, or it would be too late. The doctor's words hit Aslam like a bullet, and his world went dark in an instant. Aslam had only one option: to sell his rickshaw. He looked at his rickshaw. It wasn't just a vehicle. It was the result of his life's hard work, the guarantee for Ali's education, and the key to his dreams. Tears welled up in his eyes when he asked a shopkeeper for a price. The shopkeeper sensed his helplessness and took advantage of his desperation. He offered a very low price, and when Aslam agreed to the final amount, it felt as if his soul had left his body. His heartbeats came to a standstill with the final rotation of the rickshaw's wheel. The money he received was a joke in front of the big city hospitals. He picked up his son and ran through the city streets like a madman. He begged people in front of every hospital, but all he found at every door was disappointment. No one paid attention to his old, torn clothes and the helplessness etched on his face. He stood in line for several hours in front of a charity, but when it was his turn, they sent him back empty-handed. Aslam kept wandering in the city's indifferent lights. In the darkness of the night, he came to a corner of the city with his son. His heart was sinking. He felt that he had lost everything. Ali's breathing slowly became shallower. Aslam held him in his lap, kissed his forehead, and looked into his eyes. Ali's eyes no longer held those dreams. They only held a final flicker of life. Ali gave Aslam a slight smile, and then his eyes closed forever. Aslam remained sitting there in that desolate place, his son in his lap, and a fire burning in his heart that would perhaps never be extinguished. He was just a poor man whose voice was not heard by anyone in the world's clamor, and he was just a father whose love could not save his son's life. There was no complaint or grievance in his heart, just a deep silence in which all his hopes were buried.